stay into the stage for me to be our moderator. Let us give him an applause. Good. Good afternoon, Our Excellency Venerable, Our Excellency of Reverend Father, Reverend Sister, our most wonderful participant, and ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, this section is talking about the experience from all different diversity, different experience on how you healing the wound. This afternoon we have 8 guests, speaker to say about their experience. Firstly, I'd like to invite Dr. Jenny Shea from Huajiang World Education Foundation in UK. Please step on the stage. Second, I'd like to invite Reverend Sister Kenaya from Sacred Heart Sister in Thailand. Third, I'd like to invite Reverend Dr. Robbie Kenamacharya Sebastian in India. Fourth, I'd like to invite Mr. Rangote Tengusuraki in Thailand. Fifth, I'd like to invite Reverend Hidehito Ochoki from Agrigatu International in Japan. Sixth, I'd like to invite Pra Gochang Kiang in Singapore. Seventh, we have a big group. Seventh, I'd like to invite Sister Jantana Johnton from Good Sphere Sister in Thailand. Eighth, I'd like to invite Venerable Dr. Ashin Pien Nyambata from Phiang Phialet Monastic in Myanmar. Are we all there? Okay. So, why with this session, with your experience, we'd like you to talk about your experience in healing human and the ecological wound. The first speaker we'd like to ask Dr. Jen Xie from Huajiang World Education Foundation in UK, please.
Good afternoon, esteemed religious leaders, colleagues, and community members. It is a true honor to have been invited to the 7th Annual Buddhist Christian Colloquium. Thank you to Monsignor Indunio Kodituwaku and Reverend Father Suwat Luansard, our gracious hosts and organizers, and to our new friends here in the beautiful country of Thailand for your kind hospitality and for convening this meeting and opportunity for us all to exchange valuable dialogue. The Venerable Master Ching Kong once posed the following question. When hearts become corrupt and chaos spreads, what can we do to save humanity? Perhaps one of the more urgent concerns in the world today is the crisis of faith. This is because chaos and violence has become a norm in society, to the extent that many sadly do not believe in the possibility of a harmonious and peaceful world. Corruption remains rampant as morals and ethics are cast aside in favor of self-serving interests and agendas. His Holiness Pope Francis stated in Laudato Si, "The current global situation engenders a feeling of instability and uncertainty, which in turn becomes a seedbed for collective selfishness. When people become self-centered and self-enclosed, their greed increases. The emptier a person's heart, the more he or she needs to things to buy, own, and consume. The lack of love and compassion is the root of all social chaos. An ancient Chinese proverb states, 'When our children are not properly guided, the hearts of humanity become corrupt. When our homes fall into disarray, chaos spreads through society.' As corruption, greed, and mayhem engulf our world from multiple directions, exacerbating human suffering to ever-escalating levels, society has become inundated with impossible questions, challenging even the nature of humanity itself through concepts like transhumanism. While these developments are in some ways still in very nascent stages, it is alarming to consider the direction in which humanity is heading. His Holiness Pope Paul VI once stated, 'The most extraordinary scientific advances, the most amazing technical abilities, the most astonishing economic growth, unless they are accompanied by authentic social and moral progress, will definitely turn against man.' In the modern era, while innovation and discovery in science and technology have increased life expectancy and quality of life, a lack of emphasis on the need for balance and harmony, not only within ourselves, but with the environment around us, has resulted in adverse side effects for humanity and our world. There are innumerable factors that can potentially result in unsustainable imbalances across social, cultural, and environmental dimensions. An artificial world filled with mass media, low vibration entertainment, drugs as quick fix solutions for physical and mental ailments, chemically processed and experimentally lab-grown foods moves us away from the natural world and disrupts the delicate balance of the natural order and universe of which we are a part. According to the Buddhist Sutras, from the heart and mind originates a thought, an action, which produces a resultant effect on the surrounding environment. And thus greed conjure floods, hatred conjure fire, ignorance conjure hurricanes, arrogance conjure earthquakes, and doubt conjure landslides and sinkholes, selfishness conjure war, and darkness conjure pestilence. Whenever humanity pursues personal gain at the expense of the greater good, natural disasters occur. According to the Venerable Master Ching Kong, to address global conflict and crises, there must be a revitalization of religious and moral education. Religious and moral education is the key to resolving the global crises of our world. There's a need to put the connection to the divine, to the Creator, back into the hearts of humanity. There is a need to return to and focus on a sense of wholeness and oneness with nature, with humanity, with a sense of harmony with our surroundings, our environment, and our communities. All religions, when focused on their original and true meaning, promote peace, love, compassion, kindness, and generosity of heart. Religious harmony is the key to global harmony, and religious and moral education is the key to healing the hearts of humanity. Why does world peace begin with religious harmony? Faith is a powerful spiritual force. If such a force is misused to engender conflict rather than peace, this force has the potential to bring chaos and eventual destruction to mankind. The many wars and conflicts over religion in the history of humanity are evidence of this. On the other hand, if we guide faith through understanding, mutual respect, and acceptance to bring harmony amongst religions, the sheer unity of spiritual force in the world can bring peace and joy to the world. The core teaching of all religions is universal love and compassion. In Christianity, from the Holy Bible, that we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us. God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. In Buddhism, from the Avatamsaka Sutra, the great compassionate heart is the essence of Buddhahood. In Islam, from the Holy Quran, Allah is forgiving and merciful. In Sikhism, from the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, one whose heart is filled with his infinite light meets with him and shall never again be separated from him. In Baha'i, from gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah, let the flame of the love of God burn brightly within your radiant hearts. Why is the core teaching of all religions love and compassion? It is because the root of all religions is a common divine source, one creator. We come from the same divine source as all sentient beings, and we share and are connected to the same divine source as all sentient beings. According to Hindu saint Sri Ramakrishna, God is one, and all the religions are different paths. Eventually, we reach the same. If religious adherents follow their respective teachings and treat followers of other religions with tolerance and respect, the resultant harmonious and positive force would help resolve conflict. Religions should learn from one another, striving to understand not only one's own faith, but those of others and find common ground amongst their faiths. In closing, moral and religious education have a key role to play in healing the hearts of humanity and our world. Religions should work together, and also in this way, we will learn that all faiths belong to the same family and share the same message of universal love and compassion. Many have probably heard the saying, peace and harmony in the world begins with peace and harmony within oneself. The more peace one can create within oneself, the more peace one creates with the immediate environment, community, nation, and world. May we all pray for the healing of humanity, for peace and harmony, for the healing of the world. May the light of universal love and compassion remain ever present in our hearts and guide us in our true purpose on earth. May we always be abundantly blessed, and may we be a beacon of light to lead the world toward peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jenny Xie. Our session group, I'm sorry I didn't mention, each one of you have 10 minutes. And our ring controller, please ring 9 minutes and ring 10 minutes one more time. Thank you. Secondly, I'd like to invite Sister Kenlaya from Scared Heart Sister in Thailand. He's talking about the ecological narrative of healing human and the ecologic wounds. Please.
นมัสการ Venerable สวัสดีค่ะ Your Grace, Reverend Father, brother and sister. What I am going to share with you today is my project dealing with love and kindness to creation by keeping the earth with its everyone home to be clean by segregating waste at the beginning level of practice to the end until waste becomes zero. My inspiration. I started to concern seriously about caring for our planet in 2021 after completing the mission of taking care of people during the COVID-19 outbreak that I did continually for 4 months. During that time, my late friend and me, we both used to work in the field of anti-human trafficking to find jobs to help reviving the economy of family in the community surrounding our convent. I thought that waste segregation should be one option because during COVID-19, I saw a lot of waste that come out in the form of plastic waste, such as food container, water, gases and bottle, dry food bag, and food packaging were plastic. We know that any kinds of waste could be turned into money to bring income to the poor family. You notice in the picture is almost the waste is plastic. We come to interreligious dialogue. Why I hesitated to start the planning, my friend introduced me to know a Buddhist monk. His name is พระอาจารย์สุโชติปัจฉุโต He called himself หมอสะอาด I talked on the phone for hours about systematic waste management that make every piece of garbage clean from the origin to the destination and also how to manage waste to zero. พระสุโชติ has devoted himself to waste management in his own way for many years. He has a group of volunteers helping out on important occasions at Buddhist temples throughout Thailand. So I decided to work together with him to take care of the world in the same way as well. I started the mission. I began to study the nature of every kind of garbage and the detail of the waste management, including the prices of different types of waste and how waste ended up. Besides that, I also used the advice of Pope Francis from encyclical Laudato Si, compatible with what I am going to do. More than that, I gave the document Laudato Si to พระอาจารย์สุโชติ too. In Laudato Si, especially chapter 6, the Pope recommended many new simple ways of living. I focus on number 211, where Holy Father suggested everyone to practice personal virtue regularly in order to commit oneself and be responsible in caring for the environment. In the practical aspect of daily life, His Holiness recommended simple and various guidelines. One that has a direct impact on the environment is waste segregation. I started to experiment. I started the mission by using the dining room of my convent, managing a corner as an experiment place to transfer knowledge to waste separation. First of all, everyone must keep in mind that every piece of garbage must be cleaned before throwing away. Most importantly, at the end of the event, we must learn how to manage waste to zero. I'm sure that if we use this method of sorting waste correctly, we will help reducing pollution and global warming and climate crisis. Our planet will be healed soon. The process of managing the clean garbage. First, arranging a counter with containers for each type of waste and write the name of each waste so that people can throw the garbage to the correct container. Second, process of managing the clean garbage. Second, arranging enough volunteer at counter of container during garbage disposing until people get used to with this method. The third, arranging someone to collect clean garbage when the garbage containers is full and also when the event is over. Fourth, providing a place to preserve the clean waste before recycling, selling or making waste to zero at the end. Process of waste segregation again. We roughly divide clean waste into categories before disposing. First, food waste and biodegradable waste such as vegetable, fruit, meat, etc. Recycled waste, also this waste that can still be used, such as glasses, paper, drinking can, plastic waste, metal waste, aluminum, drinking carton. Hazardous waste such as aerosol cans, floodlight, battery. Biodegradable food can be made compost or enzyme fermentation liquid, which can apply to other recycle again. Garbage that is not biodegradable can be sold or recycled. For example, recycling from soft drink can, garbage for sale, or recycled plastic waste. Solid garbage, all kinds of foam, drinking water, plastic waste become pyrolysis oil, cloth, or eco-brick. Collaboration from all parties. After trying to do this in my convent for almost 2 years, eventually this method of waste segregation is accepted from church community, religious congregation, school. Our teamwork and me are invited to raise awareness of caring for the world among church people, students and teachers. We receive a good response from them. It is evident that many of them alert to taking care of the world by practicing of waste separation. At many parishes, schools, and church organizations, the project of care for the world waste segregation has been accepted as an important project of Association of Men and Women Major Superior of Thailand and Laos. Before I end, I would like to say that my first ascension has finished because of I help the women to have the increasing of income for monthly 700 until 1,000 baht. Just like a group of women who recycle the soft tender packaging or coffee packaging into in order that earning the money too. That is like the Pope in his message says in Talitakum, he said, an economy without human trafficking is an economy of care. Care can be understood as taking care of people and nature, offering products and service for the growth of common good. And at the end, I would like to say that in the future, what should we do? So in the future development for common good, first, I have a comprehensive waste segregation demonstration center where people can come to learn and also a source of income for their community. Second, to have a place for plastic waste to be used to make fuels. Third, to use plastic bottle to make clothes. Fourth, to take garbage that cannot be segregated and make eco-bricks. And fifth, setting up eco-friendly recycling center shop and provide income and to prevent human trafficking. Before ending, I would like to read the message of the Pope in Laudate Deum number 61, the Pope says, I cannot fail in this regard to remind the Catholic faithful of the motivation born of the faith. I encourage my brother and sister of other religions to do the same, since we know that authentic faith not only gives strength to the human heart, but also transform lives, transform figure our goals, and shed light on our relationship to others and with creation as a whole. So I will end with the very short clip video, please.
Laudato si, oh mi Signore, 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 por todas tus criaturas, por el sol y por la luna, por las estrellas. Laudato si, oh mi Signore, 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 por la hermana madre tierra que alimenta y que sostiene, por la hierba, flor y frutos, por los montes y los mares. Laudato si, oh mi Signore, 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 el sentido de la vida sea cantarte y alabarte, y porque esta nuestra vida sea siempre una canción. Laudato si, oh mi Signore, 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 laudato si.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sister, for your good experience. Next, we're going to invite Reverend Dr. Robbie. He's talking about interreligious narratives. Please.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Dear Reverend Monsignor Indunil Kudithuvaku, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to be at this wonderful colloquium. My dear brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ, I'm extremely happy to be here with you. And let me come to my presentation. A narrative of healing human and ecological wounds from the perspective of interreligious dialogue. This presentation seeks to discuss the art of dialogue which acclaims healing both human and ecological wounds. Healing is a multidimensional process. The concept of dialogue is emphasized in interconnectedness. It helps people understand each other's perspectives. Everything is connected. Concern for the environment thus needs to be joined to a sincere love for our fellow human beings and an unwavering commitment to resolving the problems of society. The encyclical letter, as we know, Laudato Si 91. Let me quote Pope Francis. May the relationship between man and nature not be driven by greed, to manipulate and exploit, but may the divine harmony between beings and creation be conserved in the logic of respect and care. And now, let us see how dialogue can be a healing component. Dialogue is acknowledging the relation between humanity and nature, interconnectedness. The very essence of our humanness is tied to our connections with the natural world. Everything is related. And we human beings are united as brothers and sisters on a wonderful pilgrimage, woven together by the love God has for each of his creatures, and which also unite us in fond affection with brother sun, sister moon, brother river, and mother earth. There also is a beautiful quote from Laudato Si. And dialogue is recognizing the wounds inflicted on both people and environment. Moreover, when our hearts are authentically open to universal communion, the sense of fraternity excludes nothing and no one. And Laudato Si says, we should not exclude anyone, but include everyone. Every act of cruelty towards any creature is contrary to human dignity. And dialogue is in harmony with oneself. Dialoguing with oneself is the way to experience a real inner peace, harmony, and healing. Unless we feel healed and cured, we cannot share it with others. Dialogue is harmony with others. To be in harmony with others is nothing but sharing the inner healing you experienced in yourself. Harmony with God. Dialogue is harmony with God. We know that our ultimate aim is this harmony. And dialogue is a harmony with nature. And it's a harmony with oneself, harmony with others, and harmony with God through harmony with nature. And to be in dialogue is to be in harmony with nature. To be in nature is listening to the music of soft winds. And how many of you have listened the sounds of these soft petals that have fallen from the flowers? There's a sound. And listen the chirping of the birds, and to see the gentle movements of the clouds, and to experience the 5 elements of the nature: earth, water, fire, air, and space. This dialogue with nature helps me to dip into oneself, others, and to experience the divine. And dialogue is creating a sense of discipline, responsibility, respect for other religions. You know it, no need more explanations. But we need to give each other the space to grow, to be ourselves, to exercise our diversity. We tend to give one another space so that we may both give and receive ideas, openness, dignity, joy, healing, and inclusion as we are doing here now. And dialogue is creating a spirit of sacrifice, service, and compassion. We know a compassionate heart sacrifices, heals, and always be at service. The model of self-emptying love of Jesus Christ has created a culture of self-sacrifice and service in this world. And we know dialogue is healing through acceptance, respectfulness, and celebrating the other. Celebrating the other means celebrating each one's culture and customs, faith and festivals, and rite and rituals. When I have an understanding and conviction in my own faith and religious traditions, my dear friends, I will be able to accept the other who is different from me, having different faith and festivals, and respect his rites and rituals, culture and faith expressions, and to the extent to celebrate his festivals. When we start celebrating the other, healing begins. So let us celebrate each other to heal each other. We need to bear the wounds of each other to heal the other. Then we will become the wounded healer like Jesus Christ. Then dialogue is celebrating diversity, is celebrating humanity. Celebrating diversity is to show respect and gratitude for the differences between one another. It is about understanding and appreciating backgrounds, cultures, and beliefs that differ from our own and creating a safe environment for individuals. And dialogue is strengthening the bonds that unite us and weakening the barriers that separate us. When we are ready to celebrate the faith of others without losing ours, when we are able to uphold the faith without hurting others, when we are strong enough to appreciate our differences without giving up our uniqueness, we strengthen the bonds that unite us. Dialogue is reconciliation and restitution. Then dialogue is adoption of sustainable practices that prioritize ecological regeneration, reducing environmental harm, addressing social disparities. Dialogue is emphasizing the need of local and global initiative. Global dialogue consists of a platform of creating such new initiatives. And lastly, dialogue is hope for the transformation of human beings to be united with nature and realize the therapeutic potential of Mother Earth, to be healed, to be cured, and to be transcendent. And my dear friends, I have a small video of 1 minute, and it's the experience of my 25 years of celebrating the other festivals. Especially in India, you know that the prominent 9 religious festivals we celebrate together. Diwali, Onam, Eid al-Fitr, Guru Nanak Jayanti, and Christmas with differently able children, and Easter with all other religions of 9 religious representatives with differently able children celebrating Christmas. And this is healing, and this is dialogue, and this is celebrating Easter with 9 religious representatives, Ramayana, Hindus, Muslims festivals, Sikh festivals, Diwali, and visiting the religious places of different religions, and having networking with different groups of interreligious dialoguing. My Buddhist friends, I had a wonderful experience with my Buddhist friends in Bailukape, Mysore. And I stayed there for 2 weeks with them. See how strongly they are arguing each other, empowering themselves. It's a wonderful experience. And in India, there is darkness from light. Let us come from darkness to light, get to light.
सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु.
Thank you so much. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Let peace and happiness prevail everywhere and in everyone. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Robbie. Wonderful slide, wonderful video. Next, we like to invite Mr. Wangorete Tangsuraki from Thailand. He's talking about the migrants and the refugees.
Good afternoon, Eminences, Excellencies, Venerables, Reverends, and honorable participants. My sharing will be on migrants and refugees which is the now is a global reality. It could be called also crisis, especially after the war in Ukraine and in the Holy Land. At the moment, there is 108 billion Before going to that, I would like to share with you some photos. This is taken in Myanmar in current state. Not only the Christian or Catholic churches are burnt or bombed, but also Buddhist temples, Muslim mosques got the same fate because they are considered to be the hub of the protesters. This is also another church bombed. This is a rice barn from in a village, also burned up by military. And this is the camp, refugee camp. Actually, in Thailand, the government doesn't call it a refugee camp. They call it a temporary shelter to avoid responsibility to take care of the refugees. This is another. They live in the jungle. And this is the children. A lot of children. They are all from Myanmar. I think some participants are also from Myanmar. You remember this? These photos are not in the media. Yeah. Now, the migrant. This is the migrants mainly also from Myanmar. They are working in the fishery sector, also on fishing boat, just in construction, and they go on the truck to construction site. These are the rubber tappers, migrants also from Myanmar, and they live in like a cottage. I asked them whether if they are satisfied with this kind of living conditions. They said it is still better than back home. So the situation at the moment, there's 108 million refugees across the world, and 85% of them are from developing countries. 10 million become stateless. For migrants worldwide, there is 281 million, and this is about 3.6% of the global population, and 48% of them are women. And the number increases every year. Now, in Thailand, we have about almost 50,000 refugees. Most of them, they are also from Myanmar, and some around 4,000, almost 5,000. They are from 45 countries around the world. They are living mainly in Bangkok and suburb. They are mainly from Pakistan, Vietnam, and Palestine, and also not only refugees coming from different countries, but also Thai people. Also, about 100 Thai people also take refuge in other countries because of the political suppression. For Thailand, we have about 3.7 million migrants, mainly from Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos PDR. They are working in construction, fisheries, plantations, factories, services. The causes of refugees and Americans are more or less the same because of the wars, coup d'etat, violence, armed conflict, political suppression, religious persecution. And for the refugees, they have the problems in when they stay in camps. It's like a prison. They cannot move along outside the camp. And they have no job, no income. They have to rely on assistance. And they risk being repatriated back home, which is very, very, very dangerous for them. They are not accepted as citizens, unable to integrate, and children have no education, no future. For migration, they have problems in Thailand. They are working in dirty, dangerous, and difficult jobs. They call it 3D job. And they have a high risk of being victims of human trafficking, forced labor, cheating, exploitation by employers, officials, local people. Their rights are violated. They are discriminated against. They lack legal status, and their documents are always withheld by their employers as like debt bonded. And they lack of access to healthcare and education. They lack freedom of travel and especially no bargaining power. But when we work with migrants, especially migrants, and not only migrants but also refugees, you see that they're very spiritually religious. They are concerned with their fellow migrants and victims of war. Many migrants from Myanmar, they collect funds and raise funds to support their people. And they support also education of migrant children. Now, what we do, our main approach is to empower them, migrants, because you see that without empowering them, they will be very weak and they will be subject to become victims of exploitation. So what we do is to support what they lack or they need when they are living in foreign land. We build the capacity by providing knowledge on laws, human rights, and we raise awareness that they have rights. We mobilize them to come together and then organize them as a group to help each other. And to have greater bargaining power, we support networking and also helping them to build good relationship with their employers, because our work is non-confrontational, peaceful, and through dialogue, because this is very, very important to help them to integrate with Thai society, because Thai society, Thai people, many of them, they have prejudice against migrants. So we have to help them to have a relationship by supporting them to work together, like joint cultural, religious, social activities. When they come together to work together, they will build trust with each other, and then they will help to reduce the problem of human trafficking. So this is what we are trying to respond to the situation of migrants in Thailand. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Recently, there's a migration and refugee problem come from Palestinian and Israel conflict. And this also involves some children's problem. Next, I'm going to invite Reverend Hidehito Okochi from Japan to talking about children's right.
สวัสดีครับ My name is Hidehito Okochi from Japan. It is a great honor for me to participate in the colloquium as a member of the board of directors of Arigato International. Arigato International works with people from diverse religious and cultural background to build a better world for children. I myself am the head priest of a Pure Land Buddhism temple, and I also a director of the campaign for the children of Palestine, Japanese NGO. In working with children, I'm always conscious of whether I'm conforming to the spirit of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC. Children themselves can be aware of the dignity of life and gain courage by knowing that this convention exists. And the adoption this year of General Comment number 26 by the United Nations Committee on the Right of the Child is great significance to this colloquium. General Comment number 26, GC 26, entitled Children's Rights and the Environment, with a special focus on climate change, urges consideration of children who are particularly vulnerable to the global environmental destruction that has occurred today, and calls for fulfilling our responsibility to children who will live longer. The most notable aspect of GC 26 is that the children's own opinions were heavily incorporated into the process of the formulation. A total of more than 16,000 children from 121 countries participated in the development of GC 26 by contributing their opinions through an online survey. The fact that children themselves voice their concerns and offer their hopes for the world as it should be, and that these hopes are reflected, is above all caring for the hurting child. We are communicating the existence of CRC in order to make more vulnerable and traumatized children in Palestine aware of their dignity. However, dignity and human rights are not something that can be taught, but are contained in the child's own feelings and wishes. In other words, in life. And it is by drawing them out that the child becomes aware of them. It is important to create a place where children feel safe to express their feelings, and every effort must be made to embody the spirit of CRC, which guarantees children the right to have their views heard. One of the issues I am currently working on in Japan is the care of children with pediatric thyroid cancer in Fukushima. More than 350 children have been diagnosed with thyroid cancer to date, most of whom have undergone surgery to remove the thyroid gland. Subsequent tests and treatments can also be very burdensome. They will have to take medication for the rest of their lives, and it will be difficult to obtain life insurance. The anxiety over harsh treatments such as radiation therapy, recurrence, and reoperation is immeasurable. But the suffering is not limited to that. The very extent of these patients is an inconvenience to Fukushima Prefecture and the nation of Japan, as they are an obstacle to reconstruction. And they suffer from being blamed as perpetrators of rumors. For this reason, many patients live their lives hiding the fact that they are ill. Thus, we did not know what each of them was living or suffering from, even though the figures of the occurrence of thyroid cancer patients were presented to us. My temple has been providing a place to stay for mothers and children who have come to Tokyo for treatment. They are all ordinary children and young people who can be found anywhere, and if you don't listen to them, they don't seem to have such severe worries and suffering. However, when they begin to talk, their emotions overflow and their voices become tearful. And as they put it into words, I feel that they are gradually gathering their thoughts, accepting reality, and discovering how to live from now on. Here again, we are keenly aware of the importance of guaranteeing a place where children can express their feelings in peace. To be close to the suffering, to look deeply into the reality of suffering and gradually uncover it. This is the very origin of Buddhism. Here is the path of the Four Noble Truths. The climate crisis is also causing great concern for children, and the environment destruction is not only visible. Pesticides, food additives, and various other chemical substances that are all around us are poisoning our lives. These dangers are magnified by the extreme consumerism that prioritizes economic development, neoliberalism, and undermines the human spirit, makes a mockery of social justice, globalization widens the gap. Capital is concentrated in the hands of a few, and the voices of the weak are crushed. We must not leave such a system to our children's future, one that imposes investment in sustainable development, irreversible environmental damage, nuclear waste, and incalculable severe liabilities. We religious people must appeal to the fact that this life is not lived only in this world. At a time when we are facing such pressing issues, the apostolic exhortation lauded them by the Holy Father Francis, released last month, give us great hope and inspiration. We must look at reality and work toward universal high ideal based on the respective righteous faith of each of us. The universal high ideas are not those led by hegemony, but the desire for human rights, peace, and a just world that have been built by fragile people, overcoming the immeasurable tragedies that have occurred in the world. The voices raised by children regarding climate change have spread around the world and had a great impact impact on the international community. This, as well as general comment number 26, showed how usual and necessary it is for society to hear the voice of the child. I believe that by creating a place where children feel safe to speak their thoughts and feelings, and by each carefully picking up the voice of children around us that are difficult to be voices, and reflecting them back to society, children will believe in society and have hope for the future. I believe that it will be through hearings. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you, Reverend Hidehito Okochi of Japan, for his talking about children's right. Next, I'd like to invite from Venerable Kochan Kiang of Singapore. He is going to talking about engagement with youth.
Namaskaran to all the venerables and greetings to all the esteemed religious leaders, ladies and gentlemen. I deeply thank the organizers for inviting me to this colloquium to give a short speech. Firstly, I'm going to touch on human wounds. So this is more of a Singapore context. I'm not sure how many of you have been to Singapore, but Singapore is very small, a small country, no natural resources, and it's ranked the most expensive city, right? So it comes with a price. So I'm not a scholar or academician, so there's not much statistics involved, and I'm not informed of PowerPoint presentation. If not, I can distract you with some visuals. So anyway, so the price is basically human resource in the country, and a lot of pressure is towards the infants and the youths in their formative years, a lot of pressure from the education system. So as young as 3 years old, they are sent to a preschool. I'm not sure if you know about nursery, kindergarten. So that's the first time they touch a textbook, and they will start schooling and even tuition. Parents, usually in the middle class, may not have time to look after the children. They go to work the whole day, and the children will be spent most of the time in preschool. And when they get older, at about age of 11 or 12 years old, they have this thing called the primary school leaving education. So that's like one of the most stressful kind of examinations for the students to leave the primary school to go to this high school or this secondary school. And there's a lot of talk, even in the news. The exams, the questions are so hard, so tough. Even parents do not know how to solve them. So if I were to look at the math questions now in the primary school examination, I won't be able to solve them either. It's so tough now. So lots of trick. It's like IQ tests. So a lot of these children are being sent to tuition, remedial classes, and it has become an industry itself. So there's a lot of pressure from school, and also outside school, they have to attend tuition, so double school, right? So that's their whole life. And now I'm going to talk about how religion is stepping into this so-called human wounds. Yeah? So all this pressure is causing this, we call it mental health issues. So there's a lot of stress. Children's been reporting to commit suicide in Singapore. Not just children, but even adults. I think one out of four people in Singapore have some kind of mental health issues. Okay, so before I was a monk, I volunteered in a Sunday school in the Mahayana Buddhist temple. I'm not sure how many of you have been to Sunday schools or religious classes. Probably in the olden times, the traditional way of teaching is like very boring. They just teach you ABC, what is this? The founder of the religion, the doctrines, and the students will be bored. The first weekdays, they already attend school. Weekends, they have to attend another school. It's like the children have no life. Okay, so we can tell from the children's facial expressions, they're kind of bored, and after they graduate, they may not want to come back to the temple, right? Because to them it's very boring. So I think nowadays the system might change a bit. They might change the way of education to more action-based kind of learning. Okay, and we talk about decline in religiosity. We look at the youths, or even in modernization, how many youths go to places of worship versus places of entertainment? If you look at the pubs or the discotheques or the rock concerts, I think the place will be full house, yeah? So like this place is not as full house, those places. So anyway, to make things worse, like the modern or secular education, for example, science, I'm not criticizing science itself, but certain application of science without scientific thinking may lead to a certain kind of logic, that people might find religious teachings fictional, or religious teachings like fairy tale, right? Like even for Buddhism or Christianity, we believe in angels or the devas, invisible beings. And so-called the school system will be like, prove it. You can't prove it. So it's like, they just brush off our religious teachings. And these kind of people cannot be reached out through rituals and ceremonies. We need to be more scientific to convince them. So for religious leaders or teachers, we need to up our so-called scientific kind of reasoning. Okay, so also most higher institutions of education in Singapore, maybe the polytechnics or the universities, have these extracurricular activities. That means after school, they may join a certain kind of cultural or certain sports activity. And there's also a religious kind of activity. So in most places, there are quite a number of Christian groups. They are like the Legion of Mary, Campus Crusade of Christ, and the Navigators, and so on. But there's only one Buddhist club, right? So, and out of all these religious clubs or religious societies, the numbers have been dwindling. The numbers have been dwindling. So if we ask the youth today to attend any extracurricular activity, there are so many diverse options. So nowadays there are this adventure club, rock climbing, MMA, Muay Thai, so many interesting things. It's like nobody would want to join the religious club, at least at their age, right? So those clubs, those groups have been struggling. The religious groups have been struggling. And in Singapore, these groups need to have at least 10 members. If they lack below 10 members, they might need to close down. So there's already some of the institutions, some of them are struggling. I know of a Buddhist society that closed down from another school. Okay, so, and now we talk about sterilization of religious discussions. Right, so religious kind of discussion in Singapore is a bit kind of quiet. Normally people don't have dialogue openly. If you go to school, go to work, nobody wants to talk about different religions. Okay, so this is the bell for round one. So we have this issue where people in Singapore kind of like might call on the authorities, call on the police if they find certain people sharing certain things offensive to their belief. So a lot of people don't want to discuss about religion. So this is the Singapore kind of culture. So they need a safe space, like maybe this dialogue, this conference, to talk about religion. Okay, so so to talk about the solutions to this human mental health, we can talk about meditation. So I believe the previous speakers have talked about it, Karuna and Metta. So I don't want to delve too much on it. So now we talk about ecological wounds. So for the youth, I will just share on my personal experience. There's a Chinese Mahayana Buddhist temple that organize a competition on humanistic Buddhism. So they invite lots of youth groups, Buddhist groups, and also non-Buddhist groups. So there's an interfaith group, there's even a Christian groups from overseas that join and participate. So this competition requires one to tackle a certain problem in the society. It could be ecological problem, whatever social problem. And the group that won the competition was given this prize money. And unfortunately, these groups aren't willing to follow up on the project because students don't have time. And in Singapore market, it's very capitalistic, and it's a kind of survival of the fittest. You need to be a good businessman or good businesswoman to survive. So we need a supportive environment if you really want to talk about promoting environmentalism. If not, they'll just close down. So I've already have reference on a paper, a certain certain group of youth, they started this food waste kind of a company. They sell ugly food, they salvage ugly food from the retails and try to sell it. They can't survive. After a few years, they close down. So there's not much support in this sector. So that's the end of my speech. Thank you.
Oh, very, very nice. Thank you. I believe we have the same problem all over the world. We have the population of the youth to attend Buddhist school, Sunday school, or any monastic school. The populations decline. Most of them go to the media, go to the computer, go to your so the population of youth decline. We have to be aware of this. This is very important issue. Now, next, we're going to invite Sister Jentana Jonto of Thailand. She is going to talking about women's issue.
Your Excellency Bishops พระอาจารย์นมัสการ and brothers and sisters in compassionate love. As a good shepherd sister in Thailand, I firmly believe that the Catholic Church holds a unique and indispensable role in healing the wounded. We are called to be a witness of love and compassionate, a church where all are welcome and embraced, and where everyone can experience the transformative power of God's love. Thank you. One of the primary ways we fulfill this calling is through our extensive social ministry program. We extend our hands to individuals of all faiths and backgrounds, providing them with essential life necessities such as food, shelter, education, and health care. We also offer counseling and unwavering support to those who are struggling with exploitation, trauma, and other challenges in their life. Another avenue through which we foster healing is through the spiritual ministry. We create opportunities for individuals to engage in prayer, worship, and deepen their understanding of the Catholic faith and others. We also provide spiritual guidance and support to those who are seeking for a more profound connecting with God. During my first year of ministry, I had a privilege of working with the women in Pattaya, a city often associated with stigma and discrimination. These women often labeled as a prostitute. They approached us and asked to attend the Mass for my first profession. So we really wholeheartedly welcomed them. And over 400 women attended. For many of them, this liturgy ignited a spark within, reawakening their sense of dignity and empowering to make positive choices for their lives, family, and society. This is truly meaningful of the first gift of my religious life. To welcome with simple liturgy, to accept women that society calls sinners, to awaken their dignity as a human being. In my current ministry, I focus on supporting women and children who have endured the trauma of violence and exploitation. We established Wang Jai Center. We provide them with counseling and emotional support, while also assisting them finding a safe place. In on Good Shepherd program in several places in Thailand, we educate the public about bravery of human trafficking and advocate for opposing violence against children and women. For those bearing physical wounds, we facilitate their access to public health care. Individuals in marginalized communities often lack of means to secure quality medical service, their voice unheard, their pleas for help unnoticed. We address the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of these who are suffering. We also offer a nurturing community of love and support. Where individuals can find console and feel value. We Good Shepherd Sisters operate a shelter for women and children who have felt a horror of the domestic violence. We provide them with a safe place as well as central sustenance, clothing, and medical care, counseling, and unwavering support to the women and children, helping them to heal from their trauma and rebuild their life. Recently, we have a single mother with us, about 15 of them, and every day, more than 400 people come to our compound in Bangkok. Furthermore, we have implemented a project dedicated to support children from disadvantaged backgrounds. This initiative provides these children with a quality education, ensuring their access to food, clothing, and their necessities. Over nearly 60 years, through Good Shepherd Sister Service here in Thailand, we are a bridge of the compassionate love by being, serving the poor and marginalized, promoting peace and reconciliation, and safeguarding the environment. Therefore, we have passed on the kindness or karuna of people in society. We have no income to serve on these people. All of the work I mentioned before has been support 100% of donation. I firmly believe that the Catholic Church play a vital role in healing wounded in Thailand. We stand as a community of love and compassion, unwavering in our dedication to serve those who are suffering. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to be a part of noble work, and I pray that we can continue to make a profound impact on the lives of those who are broken and hurting. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sister. The last one, we're going to invite Venerable Dr. Shin Piang Diao Pauta from Piang Prolet Monastery. He is going to talking about reconciliation and talking about school and education experience. Please.
Good afternoon, all religious leader, all my Dhamma brothers and sisters. I would like to invite my younger brother, Shin Dhammasami. Please come here. My name is Dr. Shimbinyo Basa. I'm from Myanmar. I'm doing in Myanmar social work and missionary work. Myanmar is now in the world deforestation number 3. So I'm president of Tree Lover Association in Myanmar. Also, in this session, number 4 speaker present about Myanmar. This is truly. So I'm trying to find out solution Myanmar for peace. So I'm doing advisory board or Nying Foundation. Nying Foundation means Peace Foundation for Myanmar political crisis, how to find out this solution, we are trying. Also, I'm board of director of SEMS, Socially Engaged Monastery Education School. Also, I'm advisor board of CNH, Center for Diversity and National Harmony. So, about me, my brother, my younger Dhamma brother, Ashin Dhammasami, he will present my paper. He's a candidate of Mahachalalakma University. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my brother and sister. My name is Dhammasami. I'm a PhD candidate of the Peace Study Program, International Buddhist Study College of the MCU. Today, I'm very happy to give me opportunity to present the presentation. May all beings be free from danger and suffering. Today, let me present 5 articles. The Art as Our Classroom, Story of Independence, Education for Global Citizenship, and the Healing Past Wounds and the Arts of Living in Harmony. So this is a narrative one for the on-school and education for the healing of human and ecological wounds. So the Art as Our Classroom. In the Pusling metropolis, a school has transformed its one barren courtyard into a thriving oasis. Students eagerly tend to rows of vegetable, herb, and flower. They are hand walking the swine with care and cautiously. The courtyard has become a classroom, not just for biology, but for life itself. As students learn about the delicate balance of ecosystem, they also develop a deep appreciation for the art's gift. They harvest the fruits of their labor, sharing the bounty with their community and learning the importance of the sustainable living. The courtyard becomes a symbol of hope, a testament to the powers of reconciliation between human and the nature. The stories of independence. In the heart of the rainforest, a group of children gather around an idol, listening intently as she weaves the tales of ancient ritual and the interconnectedness of all living things. Her story transports them to world where animal and human coexist in harmony, where the forest is not a resource to be explored, but a living, breathing eternity to the churches. The children eye, with action, no matter how small, have ripple effect throughout their ecosystem. Inspired by the story, the emperors on the mission to protect their rainforest home, planting trees, cleaning up polluted waterway, and educating others about the importance of the conservation. Education for global citizenship. In a classroom, spanning contains students from diverse backgrounds connected through the power of the technology. They share stories of their homelands, highlighting the unique challenges and opportunities each region faces. As they delve into discussion about the climate change, pollution, and resource scarcity, they began to understand that these issues are not confined to border but are interconnected and global in nature. They recognized that healing the earth required a collective effort, a spirit of global citizenship that transcends national boundaries, guided by their teachers. They are collaborated on projects that address environmental concern in their respective community, learning that even small action can make a big difference. Healing Past Wounds. In a school nestled amid the ruins of a war-torn city, students gather to learn about the devastating impacts of conflict on both humans and the environment. They examine photographies of scale in landscape, listen to stories of displacements and loss. They grapple with the complexity of human conflict through open dialogue and critical thinking. They began to understand the root causes of the environmental degradation, often linked to the economic inequality, political insustainability, and social injustice. He recognized that healing the earth required not only environmental restoration, but also reconciliation between community, fostering peace and understanding as the foundation of the sustainable future. The student recognized that healing the earth required not only environmental restoration, but also reconciliation between community, fostering peace and understanding as the foundation for a sustainable future. They engage in open dialogue, confronting and painful realities of the past while seeking the virtue of a brighter future. They learned that forgiveness is not condoning wrongdoing, but rather breaking the cycle of violence and creating space for the healing. Their classroom became a sanctuary, a place where students from diverse backgrounds learn to appreciate the value of diversity and unity. They collaborate on projects that address environmental concerns in their respective community, planting trees to restore scarred landscape, cleansing up polluted waterway, and promoting sustainable practices. As they want to heed the wounds of the past, the students become ambassadors of peace and reconciliation. Their action demonstration that even amid the reigns of conflict, hope can blossom. They carry the message of healing to the world, inspiring others to join them in creating a future where human and nature breathe in harmony. The art of living in harmony. In a school embraced by nature, students engage in holistic education that integrate environmental literacy with traditional art and culture. They learn about the ancient wisdom of an indigenous community, their deep respect for the earth, and their harmonious coexistence with the nature. They explore the expressive power of the art using dance, music, and visual art to convey the beauty and the fragility of the natural world. Through this impressive learning experience, they develop a deep connection to the earth, recognizing that humans are not separate from the nature, but an integral part of the integral world of life. They emerge as ambassadors of environmental stewardship, carrying the message of reconciliation to the world. This narrative illusion that transformative power of education is healing human and ecological wounds. By fostering a deep understanding of the interconnected of all living things, education can empower individuals to become agents of change, working toward a future where human and nature thrive in harmony. Through this impressive learning experience, the student developed a deep connection to the earth, recognizing that humans are not separate from nature, but an integral part of the intricate web of the life. They learn to appreciate that the interconnectedness of all living things, understanding that our actions have ripple effect throughout the ecosystem. As they immerse themselves in the earth, the students find creative ways to express their environmental concern. They compose sound and capture the essence of an intercross species, produce a dance performance that highlights the delicate balance of the ecosystem, and create a visual of the convey the urgency of environmental protection. Their artistic expressions serve a power tool for advocacy, raising awareness about the environmental issue and inspiring others to take action. They organize exhibition and performance that showcasing their work to their wider community and sparking conversation about the importance of the sustainable of the living. The students emerge as ambassadors of environmental stewardship, carrying the message of the reconciliation to the world. They demonstrated that art and its many forms can be a powerful catalyst of the change, bridging the gap between human and nature, and fostering harmonious relationship between humanity and the planet. May all beings be healthy, peace, and healthy. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Ashin. Are you boring? No, I don't think so. This is better than we call Sunday school or Buddhist school. It's better, even better. Thank you for the group of 8+1 participants, and thank you for all your nice presentation, wonderful experience. Thank you. We over time 5 minutes. Sorry.
Thank you very much for Venerable Jem Long, and also give applause again for all the speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We come all the times. We come on times, right? Monsignor Indonin. So we have around 25 minutes that for break, and for some drink, you can go something, and then we come back again on 3 o'clock. We come back again on 3 o'clock with the another session. Yeah. Then the next session will be spirituality of healing. That will be moderated by Reverend Father Edward Chow. But now we have 30 minutes of break. So please go, feel free to break, and they will come back on time on 3 o'clock. Thank you very much.